I started in February 2017,
wow.
initially as a part-time employee
Okay.
with the audiovisual department. That same year in fall, I joined SOC to do my second master's degree in strategic communication.
Wow.
I completed it. I was still working as a part-time employee. I graduated, and then I was still working here, as well as I was doing a full-time job with the Discovery Networks. In November 2021, I got a call. I got offered this current position of mine. So many great memories. Since I spoke about intercultural, of course, tops my list of great memories is the intercultural class, communication class with Professor Priya Doshi. Oh my gosh, I loved every bit of it, doing the country profiles and those great case studies. It was amazing. Another class I absolutely loved was the research class with Professor Molly O'Rourke. We had a very small team, but we had such great, profound discussions in the class that I still remember them vividly. And they were something I used to look forward to. So that's something which I remember very fondly. And then my capstone with Professor Graff.
Okay.
It was a very sensitive topic, but his subtle sense of humor, probably you know what I mean, kept me sane and kept me sailing through my capstone.
I graduated my undergrad with a degree in behavioral psychology. And I thought, okay, a lot of people who get that degree, they end up working with children with autism or doing some kind of organized behavioral therapy. And that wasn't for me. I had looked at it as an option, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I took a few years off between my undergrad and grad program. And when I went to look for grad programs, I was looking for something that was practical, something that wasn't like a 2 or 3 or, so on year program, so I could just get working. I wanted to go and get a career in media in some capacity. And so to do that, I looked around at different programs and I ended up applying to several. And American, I really liked the program. I liked that it was a 1-year program, that it was really intense and I could just devote my time to it, and ended up going and really obviously worked out for me. So I think it was awesome. I mean, intense is the word for sure. And it's not so much that it's difficult intense. It's just you have to dedicate your time to it. I found an apartment right near campus that I could walk to, the classes that I needed to take, and you were in classes all day and then doing, either at the library or doing your work at night. And, there wasn't as much time to just casually take a master's program. Not that any master's program is casual per se, but it felt like, okay, I'm going to do this all day, every day. And I remember the day after graduation, I popped up in bed and I was like, okay, well, what do I have to do today? Because I had this routine where I had this list of things that I constantly was getting done every single day. And I was like, oh, well, I graduated. So nothing right now. I could just take some time. And I remember not knowing this is silly, but not knowing what the popular music was, not knowing what was cool on YouTube or whatever. I just didn't, because I wasn't paying attention. We had a TV. I didn't use it. I didn't have time. I was doing something else. And so it was just I could have probably carved out time to do those things, but I filled my free time with social time, usually with my other cohort, which is cool. Right. The first class that I took, really stood out only because I got to meet with it was Rick Stack's class, and I really just got to meet all of the students and the other people and see where they were from. Mm-hmm. I really liked Dottie Lynch's class about polling. I thought it was really interesting, and learning about kind of the practical application of these things that we were learning. Lauren Feldman's class was really interesting. I took a class about international PR, which was cool. It wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be, but it was really interesting because we each got to pick a country and then learn about that country and how their PR might work, which I thought was very cool. And then we did a presentation at the end. So there were several classes that obviously stood out, but I think generally speaking, it was the thing that really stuck out to me, aside from, the practical application of stuff, which is my jam. That's what I really enjoy, is just seeing how everybody approached it differently and where they all wanted to go. Because my goal was to get into a media sphere in some way. And not everybody wanted to do that. A lot of people wanted to go into PR in a more traditional aspect. Some people didn't want to do PR at all. They were just learning to have that thought process of kind of strategic communicating. Everybody sort of had a different goal. And I think that was the thing that I liked even more than just any individual class.
I am in the master's program for strategic communication. It's a 1-year program. So I started at the end of last August and I will be all done this August, which is so sad because I'm loving it. Now it's going to be time to go, but I'm having the greatest experience. I am a teaching assistant on campus. And I get to actually lecture in that class. So that's been really special. And I also take 4 classes each semester. So it's pretty jam-packed, but learning a lot, really grateful for it. I really liked the writing for strategic communication class that I took last fall because we did get to make a fictional client and then we had to write all types of products just for that client. So we did a speech and an infographic and we did key messages that you would give to a spokesperson on TV. And so I had to really stretch my brain and like make up new events or new things to say, but it also doubled almost as like a branding class because I had to have a consistent voice and consistent imagery throughout the products. I made a pet fostering organization in DC. So I got to have lots of little animal graphics. You can never go wrong with a cat and a puppy. In terms of the field, I'm happy being in Strat Comm. I was a communication studies undergrad, so this has been a 5-year process and commitment for me. I wasn't doing a career change where this was a dramatic shift in what I was studying and pursuing. I think being in DC has gotten me more excited about museum communications because we have a lot of the top museums in the world here. And I don't think everybody always realizes that there are communications departments inside of museums. It's not just agency work or being somebody's publicist. 100%. And so this environment has really fostered enthusiasm for that.